Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day, we're the Traders. I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Here
we go.
Have I got something to sell you?
What? Look, this will be more interesting than
Used car.
100% it will be.
I'll give you that.
There is a lot going on. And, okay, I am one for making big calls at this time of year regarding the Blues, but you're going to be able to look back at the end of the year and go, he was right.
Okay, now...
So we are looking...
Do you want me to grab the replay of last year?
Well, no, I'm just thinking that. He talked up Docherty excessively.
I did.
And he pumps out a 110.
Correct.
Super Huey,
how good was he?
Cripper.
Yep.
I'm
I was a bit down on Walshy.
You know, I'm switched.
You were low on
less.
Cripper.
He averaged.
Yeah.
He thought Cripper was going to go under 90.
Yeah, look, that's what I do.
So you're saying you're giving people faith that this is going to be on
and I'm
the point.
switched on.
Right, okay.
Let's go.
So we are talking about a team that is outside the 8. We love an improver.
They missed the finals, didn't they?
Yes,
Round
exactly.
23. Geez, that was a beautiful moment.
So you think about this. We're looking at that.
Yep.
They will be the 2023 premiers. So you imagine the improvement
People have just
and the
switched
ups.
off.
Oh, they have not. They're like, God, Roy, I'm going to bet on that now. They are going to improve, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And they are going to be so highly motivated because Smirky over here, what Warnie was just talking about, missing the 8 in that last game. Thriller, heartbreaker, call it what you want. I call it motivator.
Oh,
and
okay.
Michael Voss will be leading that motivation and the boys will be responding.
Okay.
So, upside. Long way to go about saying it. But I think the upside
Right,
is
so there's
huge.
upside. In players?
Okay, in players, yes. Now, a lot of the upside is created here because, as I like to say, crisis creates opportunity.
Yes.
And there is one hell of a crisis.
There's a massive
it doesn't get much bigger.
The biggest news out
than
of the
this
pre-season.
crisis. Sam Walsh. Okay.
Now, what was it again?
Spinal.
Spinal.
His back's cooked.
A
He's had
vasectomy.
back
My
surgery.
back is
he had
broken.
a back vasectomy and it's spinal. All right. Now, this is a huge, this leaves obviously a huge gap. He's one of the best players in the competition and he is out. And we don't know how long for.
Well, they said they've ruled him out for round 1 and that we're a long way away from round 1.
I've dug deeper than that.
Oh, have you?
It's basically, we're talking like reassessment after the first month.
Oh, wow.
So this could be
like at the end of January type thing.
At the end of round 4.
What?
Yes.
He'll be lucky to be back for your finals campaign, Roy.
No, that's if sources is correct.
Okay.
But he did squirt it pretty hard. Okay. Now, the hole that this leaves, it's hard to actually put your finger on where it is because he does time out on the wing, he does time as an inside mid, wherever they basically need him because he's so good and he's so versatile. As far as he goes individually, we still obviously pick him up in draft and someone is going to get an absolute bargain.
They will.
But it's just where you do it. I'm not sure where the right spot is because he's going to be great, but it is a back and he's not just going to come back like, you know, Walsh, what did he do? That ankle that was keeping people out. He did the Moses.
Yep.
But he's come back and didn't miss a beat, basically.
And he was pretty quick back.
He was. Way quicker back than most. But with back surgery, you have to be very careful. So that's going to be an interesting one. But let's talk about the opportunities that this creates.
So just on that, Roy, so he had 54% or 55% CBA, which is quite low. And I thought, did it change during the season? He had some bigger games in the back half, but he still had some of those lower ones. So that 55% after the bye only lifted to 57%. I thought he might have increased a little bit because his form was pretty good.
Well, his form was very good. It's always good. Now, the reason they often needed him to fill that role out on the wing, which they don't need that anymore.
Right.
Okay, so we'll get to that later, but they've filled that position. So he was going to be inside mid. I had him pinned as 110 plus. Okay, but he's not.
He still could be, just for the last half of the season.
100%. So we can obviously talk about Cripper. Cripper started the year in a blaze of glory. He went through that up and down patch, couple of injuries. I wouldn't say form issues, but he lacked the domination that he did at the start of the year where, you know, he was hitting the scoreboard, he was hitting his 30 touches. But then he finished the year massive again. So 113 in his last 5 games, Cripper. So you could actually argue that there's a bit of value there priced at 102.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll pay that.
All right.
I think that's what he is though now.
So there is the
113 or 102?
102.
the study. I think that
Brownlow medalist, mate. Crib best form.
Calvin has got a PhD, doctorate in looking at these.
Yeah.
Players after Brownlow.
Oh,
Regression.
yes. It's not good.
Speaking of Docs, Sam Docherty. Now, Doc is obviously, he's top dollar.
Yes.
You would say top dollar.
Yeah,
I'll argue
yeah.
it's not. So 110. So it's his second best season ever because basically he rewrote the rule books back when he averaged that 118 for a defender. Just absolutely racking up.
Wow.
Now, I've got something interesting for you here.
Go.
In his last 5 weeks, guess what he averaged?
118.
Yep.
Oh.
The Doc is back. So there you go. Priced at 110, 5 weeks. That's bulk weeks.
Well, do you want? I think
118.
this stat's just as good. 115 after the bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is the kind of beast that is. So priced at 110, but talk about just someone you can lock in for the season and he's just ever
We
reliable.
do always want to hunt value.
You do.
But
and there's your
you
8 points value.
Well, you can lock in a guy that is definitely going to be your
What
D1.
amazes me here is he played 22 games.
Yep.
He did not miss a game with all those issues and all those things
We didn't
going
even
on.
think this time last year.
He wasn't even going to
Think
play.
about even our draft rankings when we were
Yeah.
doing those early. Like,
We
can you
nailed them,
rank
by the
him?
way, boys.
Far out with
Can you rank him? We were thinking,
Yeah.
like, because obviously coming off that cancer battle,
Yeah.
like we didn't know where that was going to sit.
One of us was bullish on him. And it was me. Keep listening. So the next person who's going to be a huge, going to have huge upside from this is Adam Cerra.
Right.
Now he is actually a bargain. So he didn't have a great year. He started in a blaze of glory, 110 in round one, and we thought, oh yep, that's the best version of Docker, Adam Cerra, just transferring over to Carlton. But then I think he got COVID round 2. He took a bit of time to recover from that. I'm going to diagnose him long COVID.
Okay. Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
excuses a few
Yeah,
of
he
his
came back
other
from a
poor
70 and a
scores.
68.
Yep, long COVID. And then he had other little niggling injuries throughout the season. So his average is right down at 88.
Yeah.
Priced at 88. Now, Cerra is going to be someone who, as I said, he's just going to have to play at his best with Walsh out. Now, from round 17 onwards, he averaged 108. So now we're talking. He's, like you said with Walsh, Warnie, his CBAs were sitting around that 50 to 60% mark.
Yep.
But they'll be at that 60, I reckon. And that 108, I think, is what we can expect
Really?
from Cerra. So we're talking 20 points.
20 points.
20 points.
108.
Yeah.
This is where people just start going, Roy, you're stretching it.
There's definitely upside. I get that. I don't know about 20 points.
Don't you?
No.
There you go.
I'll give him 100.
18.
You give him 100. Okay.
That's with Walsh out.
Okay.
All right, you sad sacks. You ready for the next one? Matt Kennedy. Now, talk about
He gets it done.
lifting under Vossi. So they obviously, Vossi loves him and threw him straight in the guts, and he was outstanding. It was only injury that derailed his season, basically. So he's another one who started the year in a blaze of glory. 122, 114, 103.
Yeah.
Okay. Things went a little bit off track for one reason or another, but then he was coming home strong again. So in the last 3 games before he was injured, which, God, you could argue that cost us a spot in the finals, he averaged 103 in that time. So here is another guy who is going to average 100.
Wow. How many are we up to now?
Well, it's just their midfielders.
Yeah.
Because Huey's going to do it as well. So those guys, all in that mix, playing bulk minutes in there with Walsh out, are all going to be huge. None of them are going to be asked to go to the wing. Cerra's not going to have to do time out there.
No. And the thing is with Kennedy, he's priced at 94. He's got a ceiling. He's got a massive ceiling. I love him on draft.
100%. You're definitely looking at him. Now, Blake Acres is the one that I was talking about that he's going to take that time on the wing. Now, 755, you're not, and a midfielder, you're not going to want to pick him up. The thing is with him, he's another one to watch in draft. His best form came in the last 4 weeks, including their finals. So he had 200s in his last 4 games, lowest score of 80 in that time.
Okay.
If he's rounding out your midfield, he's got some serious upside sitting out on the wing for the Blues.
You've actually done some work here, Roy.
100%, and I was excited doing it. Okay.
I'm not buying it still.
Let's get to, well, I'll sell one to you. Have we thought about a little bit of underpriced Zachy Williams?
Exactly. That's why I'm not buying any of
but
this.
He's so cheap, 6.14. Now, Zach Williams, he went on. See, people talk about his injured games here, which included a 4.
Did you take it out?
That's getting his price down. No, I haven't done that. But what I want you to think about is this hot streak he went on. Now, I'm talking about a hot streak.
He always has a hot streak.
Between round 2 and 4.
A 3-week hot
He
streak.
only squeezed 3 games into that stretch.
That's okay.
But in that stretch, averaged 113. So this is what he can do.
Okay.
Another one to watch round out your back line in draft.
I'm telling you this. No one's interested in Zach Williams because last year he was priced at 71.5.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, there's a little bit there.
Yeah.
You talked about his hot streak.
Yeah.
He's one that you got wrong last year.
Look, he's got second round 103, third round 98, fourth round 137. No one would have been angry at me after the first month of football.
Can I tell you what? Yes, they would have been, because if they started him and he scored 31 in round 1...
I would have copped some hate for that. Understandably.
Did you get Zach Williams wrong last year, Roy?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he got injured.
Good
again.
honesty.
I
Good
didn't
reflection.
think he'd get injured again.
Well
now,
done.
as far as rookies go, we might have one. Now,
Paddy Dow.
Oh, God. He might start. There might be a spot
He could
for
be
him.
the inside mid.
The thing here in their back line, now, Carlton is blessed with a lot of quick guys that provide that drive out of defence. Like Cerra does it, Docherty does it, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
But Lockie Cowan, the Tassie boy, at 30, 242 he's going to start at. That's exactly what he provides to a team. So he's quick, he's got good disposal, and that drive off half-back is elite. So in his game in the NAB League versus Northern Territory, he had 33 touches and 122. So he's, you can... I'm not one to say, oh, that's only against kids, yada, yada, yada. The writing has been written for years that, these guys, talented dudes that do it at lower level, he's not going to come and average 122. But if you can either find the ball or you can't find the ball. He's one of these dudes that can find it. So he averaged 27 touches and 100 from his 12 games.
Okay.
To have those numbers and be a defender is pretty damn impressive, if you ask me. So if he sneaks in, he might be someone for our defensive bench.
Definitely. What's he, 242 as a defender?
So I don't think that's overpaying
No, it's not.
for a benchy.
Especially if he's going to play.
Yeah.
How's he gone here, dog?
Hasn't really
Has he
sold
sold you with anybody?
I'm probably more likely to pick Paddy Dow. He doesn't even want to talk about it.
I'm not talking about Paddy Dow, no. So,
He could get a chance.
okay, you take it over. No, people want to hear this. Tell us about Paddy Dow, dog.
There's not a lot to say.
No, there's
he
not
should
a
have
lot
gone
to
to
say.
another club.
All right, so let's think about this, though. Docherty, so you don't want him because he costs too much.
Where's he
Is
going
that right?
draft?
You'll need him at some
He's got
stage.
to be close to a first round.
He's got to be first round.
The
Yeah,
thing
he's
is,
first round.
defenders, those first few, you've got players there that you want, but he's probably he's got a gap on that next best.
You can put a C on Docherty. That's the thing. That's what makes him unique in draft.
Yep.
Defender
If he was available
and can
towards
have
the back
C.
end of the first round,
But as
I'd
you
be
said,
pretty-
Imagine getting him on the turn.
that as what you said then, there is a gap between him and the next.
yeah. But in saying that, then there's the forwards that are like that as well, which you really want to lock away a forward in your first two
But I'm with
rounds.
you, Roy. He could be bigger than a 110, which
100%.
increases that gap.
I think 115
Okay.
minimum. Now, I went a little
Minimum.
bit over with Cerra, but so I'll bring him back down to 105 potentially.
Okay.
But we're forgetting how good he actually is.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. He's good.
Dog, you don't think he's good? I can
No,
tell
he's
by
good.
your look on your face.
He's 88 last year, so it was an 87 with the Dockers. So what do you reckon, 105?
I reckon that's what he can
The
do.
tricky thing about Carlton is just seeing what's happening with Walsh and how long that'll be, because as soon as he's back, things change.
Oh, big time.
And that's going to be how
Could be
they...
a long time. Listen to this with Cerra as well. Let me sell this. He had a 42 and a 5.
Yeah, okay.
You can take them out. So he basically averaged 108.
Beautiful work,
I think
Roy.
we're done.
Beautiful
Okay.
work.
Have we got enough?
I think we've got enough. And you tweet in and tell me, was that better than the Essendon review? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, it was.
Well, you can go back and listen to the Essendon review and see what you thought about that via Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Also, check out the articles at afl.com.au/fantasy.